What's happening, guys? Coming at you all live today. We should be live now inside the Unleashed CEOs Facebook group. So hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. Coming in today for a live training to talk a little bit on mindset, a little bit on Messenger, a little bit on business as a whole, and mostly kind of focused on one central topic, and that's getting out of your own way. More than often, for those of you that are jumping on now as we kick things off here, we tend to block ourselves from ever achieving the results, the potential, and the outcomes that we want, but by the stories that we're telling ourselves internally. And some of you may hear this now and hear this intro, and maybe you turn it off now and say, I've heard this topic talked on many times before, I've heard Blake talk on this before, but I encourage each and every one of you to stick around, because this truly has the power to transform your outlook and your business going forward if you take this and run with it. So as we kick things off, for those of you that are joining me and watching live, drop a hashtag live below. For those of you that are joining me on the replay, drop a hashtag replay below. And this live is going to be particularly helpful for those of you that are below 3K months, especially those of you that haven't made their first high ticket sale yet or haven't made their second high ticket sale yet, that are really trying to propel things to the next level. Or anybody out there that's watching this now that's struggling to harness and build momentum. Maybe you once had momentum and you feel like it's gone, or you're working to create that momentum that you've been searching for and you feel like you don't know how to make that happen. So as I kick things off here today, getting into things, let me know in the comments below who here has ever felt like they're not good enough. Not good enough to put out that piece of content that you drafted up, not good enough to ask that question in a messenger conversation because you don't have the results that you think you need to get that outcome, not good enough to create that new offer and roll it out. And for those of you that don't want to show that you have felt that way, it's okay too. But I want you to know above anything else that, myself included, we've all felt that way at some point. It's normal. It happens. And that's the first thing that I think everyone needs to hear. This is a topic that we talked briefly on in a coaching call in my coaching group. Last night, we had one member that was bringing up some feelings around Messenger and kind of what they were feeling, and they have made massive progression with content. Their content's dialed in, it's moving. Their awareness is growing. Their cover, their profile funnel looks awesome. They're doing a lot of really good things. And they're in a prime position to really amplify that and move that into consistent lead flow, consistent sales opportunities, and consistent closed sales. But there's a wall that's stopping them from making that happen. And I want to illustrate this wall for you here. So let me pull up this map really quickly. So basic map of the core phases that you're essentially working in as you work to get your business off the ground, build up your audience, bring leads in, create sales opportunities, and close sales. This is essentially the buyer's journey itself. Because in order to create a sale, you first need to have that awareness. In order to create a sale, you first need to have leads. In order to create a sale, you first need to have sales opportunities. They all go hand in hand. But this, the big picture, the thing that everybody wants to get to, more and more of these, does not come until these are aligned in synchronized order. So more than likely, each and every one of you will, if you aren't already facing blocks at each and every one of these elements, including a block to start. So let's imagine these are walls here. Put in a few more walls. When you first start your business and you decide, maybe you pick a product that you're selling, or maybe you go out and you create your own first offer. There's likely some fears and some instances that you're facing along that don't feel comfortable at first. But the point is, when you're first taking those first steps and maybe you start to realize that, hey, I need to build up an audience of people that trust me first in order to make consistent sales and generate consistent leads and consistent sales opportunities. So you start to build up that audience. Now, in order to build an audience, you need to put out content. So what falls in the bucket of awareness? Essentially, audience building and content. Now, audience building for organic could be friend adding, etc. Content could be posting value-based content on your profile, posting any content on your profile, and it could also be posting content in target groups. So we're going to talk this specific to organic. Profile, target groups, even your own Facebook group. Now, with this first element, as you're working to build that audience and add friends, perhaps adding friends and growing your audience, that's a thing that feels okay to do, because it may be a little bit weird at first because you're adding random people onto your friends list, but you're not really having direct encounters with those people yet, so it doesn't feel like it's a big ask for you to do. But then it comes to the next step, and now it's time to create our first piece of content, second piece of content, or a 30th piece of content itself. And this is where we can start to get into the mode of looking for external validation in order to actually take the next steps that we need to. So in the beginning stages, when you put out that first piece of content, you're likely overanalyzing your every move on content. You're thinking, will this respond well? Will this person, or will people judge me if I put this post out? What will people think if I do this? What will people think if I do that? And that alone allows you to get into analysis paralysis mode, where you're second guessing your moves and not taking the action that you know you need to take to get to your end goal. So that first block can happen before anything even begins. It always happens there, because that's when you're really indecisive on what steps do I take, how do I begin, where do I get going. Now, most of you are already past that point. You're already starting to build that awareness. You're already starting to build that audience. You're putting out content. And now at this point, you're faced a next wall that you have to break through in order to imperfectly get to consistent lead flow and sales opportunities. So let's say we break down this first wall and we dial it in and we're starting to put out content imperfectly. It may not be bringing the leads that we want, but it's getting some comments, it's getting interest, and things are flowing a little bit more naturally on the content side of things. Now, in order to generate leads, this can come from dialed in content, and this can also come from cold outreach. So lead generation, to make this easier here, let's remove this line so we're not covering up the wall. Lead generation can come from, let's say, content, two-step post, or lead gen content. It can also come from prospecting, cold DMs, reaching out to people that look like they're in your target audience, that you're starting that conversation with them, having some small talk itself, working to move things towards business and create that sales opportunity. There's a right and wrong way to do this, but we'll go into that in a different topic. I have a different video for that for those that want to check that out. It's in the guide section of the group. Today I want to talk about big picture behind all of this, because I know that if you guys can unlock what I'm talking about within this today and break past these walls, take away the scripts, take away the frameworks, take away the training, take away everything else, you will start to build more momentum than you ever have before, because you're allowing yourself to do it. And it's just like, for example, with that coaching client that I was mentioning that came up last night, I mentioned to them, you have an advantage that nobody else does. Not only can you show up following a proven framework, he came to me actually and said, I would like to have, or could you provide some examples of me, of conversations, so I can get the flow down and move things. By all means, more than happy to provide examples. By the way, this is a client that just came off a high ticket sale just a couple weeks ago, and he kind of went from strong momentum to now feeling like I'm a little bit stuck with conversations. I know the massive things that he's going to do. I know the potential that he has, and I know that it will be a matter of time until he gets to 10K a month if he can unlock this, which I know he will. But this is where sometimes this can become clouded, and the vision can become clouded for all of us in the same boat, where we want prime examples or perfect examples of conversations being moved to a closed sale. We want something to follow, which is really important to have to shortcut your success. But the downside with that can come overanalyzing, to where now we see that perfect example and now we want to duplicate that, and we're like, how do I do that? How do I move a conversation like that? And now every time that the conversation wavers and it doesn't follow the exact point of the example, we feel stuck, we don't know what to say, and we don't want to say the wrong thing, so we stop. This is why there's a benefit and a downside to scripts. The scripts that I have provided my clients inside Six Figure Accelerator, inside Post to Close, they've generated tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But those that generate the most with them don't just take the script and follow it to a T in Messenger. They take the script, they observe it, they look at it, and they say, okay, I'm going to try to move the conversation similar to this flow. I'm going to focus on the main points that what Blake has assigned here in terms of the big picture of this flow itself. Because with all of my scripts, I give a framework, then a script. I say these are the pillars that we're looking to accomplish within the conversation or within the piece of content. Here's an example of how to do it. Here's how you can start to do this yourself. Rather than most people just say, here's the script. Make this your own. And it's very difficult to make it your own. You feel like you have to follow that to a T in order to get the results you want. The reality is behind that script is a framework, just like I just mentioned. And if we can make that framework our own and do it in a way that's authentic and genuine, we have a really, really powerful combination. But what usually happens is a wall gets put up in front of us that stops us from taking that action that we know we need to take. So whether you're a part of a coaching program now and you have scripts and frameworks, whether you haven't invested into anything and you have no scripts and frameworks, if we get this awareness phase down and we're now focused on getting some leads coming in so we can create some sales opportunities and close sales, if we're starting to get comments on our lead gen posts and we tell ourselves, you know what, everybody that's commenting on this post is a freebie seeker, what's going to happen? Every single conversation that you enter into off of that post or in general, you automatically are counting yourself out because that wall is there. Because you already told yourselves, you know what, these people are freebie seekers, they're not any opportunities, and now you're immediately going into that conversation with a different approach, a different mindset, and it's going to lead to the outcome that you don't want, aka a different outcome. But if we went into those conversations saying, you know what, this guy may look like a freebie seeker on the surface, but he raised his hand in this post of mine, I would be doing an injustice to myself and to him if I assumed that he was a freebie seeker. So I'm going to go into it and treat it just like every other conversation. If he is a freebie seeker, so be it. I know that I have more opportunities to come to next. That's one step that we can start working to get past that wall. The point is, a variety of reasons can cause these walls to pop up. Whether it be wanting to move the conversation perfectly, whether it be worried about saying the wrong things, whether it be thinking that the people are freebie seekers, this, that, or the other thing. Those are all different frames that you're programming into your mind that are building up this wall to make it stronger, stronger, stronger. And every single day that you have that feeling, it gets stronger, 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 and taller, taller, taller. And until we step back and remind ourselves, you know what? Right now I'm too focused on the perceptions of others. I'm too focused on the response I'm getting on my content and the engagement that I'm getting. I'm too focused on worrying about what the opinions of others are with the conversations that I'm having. And what I need to do to unlock my true potential and give myself a chance to make that first sale, or that second sale, or the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh sale is first start by validating myself. Validate yourself first, and then the results will follow. Look for external validation first, and no results will happen. Plain and simple. And this is a big reason why people never really see the results or the potential that they really know they have come to life. And it starts to become clouded to the point where they don't think they have potential, where they're wondering, do I really have what it takes to make this happen? The reality is, I know that probably 99% of you have what it takes to make this happen online. Maybe you're not willing to put in the reps needed or put in the work needed or take the action needed. But deep down, I know that each and every one of you likely have the potential to do really big things online. Because anybody can go out, learn these foundations, learn the frameworks, take the action, grow their business, and move forward. But not everyone is willing to make investments, to take the action, to stay consistent, and to do that over a period of time. But what usually leads to that action stopping or coming to a halt are these walls. And it's important to realize that every single element that you get down will lead to a new wall. So maybe, like I said, you get awareness down, your content's going, you're posting things and you're not overthinking things, you're getting things up, you're starting to gain clarity on it. Now you're getting to the point where you're having some leads come in. You're having people that you're talking about business with. You're having people coming inbound off your content. You find some people that maybe are having struggles that maybe you can help with, and you know that you can help with, and it's time to get to the point where you're either presenting that offer, presenting that call, to offer a call time to get a call booked so you can chat about it further, and now the second wall happens. And now we're at this point where, how do I ask someone to jump on a call with me because I'm worried of what they'll say? Or how do I ask someone to jump on a call with me because I don't have the results to back up what I can do? And whether you're at 5K a month, 2K a month, or 0 a month, or even 10K a month plus, you can still have this feeling pop up from time and time again where you just feel like one week, man, I really don't know if I have what it takes, or I really don't think I have the results that can make this happen. I know eventually I will. I know that if I continue to learn, if I continue to do things, I'll get there. And that's true in a sense. But learning is much different than doing. The key is to find a happy medium of both, more on the emphasis of doing and taking action. If I just stuck in purely learning the last 2 years, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'd still be at beginning stages. Because oftentimes we can use learning, consuming content, consuming videos, consuming training as a way to push off the feeling that we don't want to face. We know we don't want to present offers at Messenger because we're worried about what they'll say, or we're worried about if they'll say no, or we'll say the wrong thing. And we know that in order to break past that, we need to do more of it. But at the same time, we don't want to do more of it because we first think we need to get in training first to do more of it. The reality is, perfect Messenger conversations is not the solution. Perfect calls are not the solution. Perfection is not the solution itself. And validation from others is definitely not the solution. What is the solution is making one small shift to flipping and focusing on validating yourself first above anybody else. Now, how can we validate ourselves first above anything else? We can do this by focusing on trusting the process when we show up and executing on the process and doing the things that we know we need to do to lead to this. In order to make a sale, we need to create the awareness, we need to get leads coming in, we need to be willing to present offers and create sales opportunities, and then that will lead to a closed sale. If we're not putting out content, if we're not having conversations, if we're not presenting offers, we will 150% chance have no way of making a sale. It's a zigzaggy line, but big picture I'm trying to make is we can't block ourselves from doing the things that we know will move us forward. And sometimes it takes a little bit of space from the business. Sometimes it takes time to think yourself. Sometimes it takes a mentor to help realign your focus and recalibrate things. I know, for example, last night, the client that I was mentioning that I spoke with, they felt 150% more clear after that call, and now that feeling is starting to fade away, and they're able to show up and take action from a perspective of clarity rather than a perspective of worry and frustration and concern. And that clarity-driven action will lead to much, much faster results than the action behind worry and unknown. And I said to that person on the coaching call last night, the cool part is this feeling that you have now, it will fade away as we clarify this, and it may come back again in the future, but that's a given. I myself can get that same feeling. People below me, everybody has down weeks, down days, down months. But what we want to avoid is those down months. We want to take it from being a down week where we have this feeling or these walls in place and we know that we're blocking ourselves, to having someone help us align that, recalibrate it, and move forward so we can break past it and hit the next level. Some people can do that on their own. Some people need coaching and support to do it. But the benefit of coaching and support, for example, in the sake of this client, I said to them, back to the main point, the cool part is you now know what's causing this block. You now know what you need to do to get past this block. And now you can start taking progressive action towards breaking past that. But rather than going and taking action on your own and wondering, am I doing the right thing, am I doing the wrong thing, and getting back into overanalyzing your every move and building that wall back up, you can start taking that action. You can get feedback from us daily. You can put out that post that you're uncomfortable to put out and share it in our support hub and get feedback on it right away so we can help you get more clear on that and take that next step. You can go out and have that conversation where you ask for your first call offered, or you present that first offer that you made in Messenger for the first time. And you can come back and get support and clarity on how to handle that presentation of the offer. And you can learn what to do going forward and what not to do. This is the reason why the people that join mentorship programs and grow really quickly win, because they take action, they come back, they ask questions on the answers they took, they get clarity, they take more action. But if we stay stuck in a mode where we're wondering, am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing? Every single day that passes, that wall gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And making this happen predictably and consistently, these sales, seems more distant and further away. So many of you are at different stages. Some of you have your awareness dialed in, and maybe you already have lead generation dialed in and you're generating consistent leads. But you're not getting offers out and you're not making sales happen. Now, it's one thing for me to sit back as a coach and say, go out and put out more offers. Yes, that may be helpful, but will you really go out and put out more offers? This is why in my coaching program, for example, we always focus on first getting to the root of what's causing us. So why are you, if that's you right now, if you have a block right here, why are you not putting out more offers? What are you feeling? And whatever it is that you're feeling, it's not a bad thing. It's okay to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. The biggest thing is being aware of what the feeling is. So then we can figure out what's causing that feeling itself and put together a plan to get past it. And realize the fact that, hey, this may not be as bad as what it actually is. I may be more powerful than what I actually thought I was. And the fact that these thoughts that are going through my head right now aren't really me. This is just a wall that's in front of me that's speaking to me every single day and feeling bigger and bigger and bigger and more of a concern. So there's one thing that you get out of this live. For those of you that are struggling to feel like you have the results to do what you want to do, to make this happen predictably, that are wondering, how can I stand out in this space and make sales happen when I don't have the results other people do? Switch the focus away from other people, away from the results that you're hit with every single day from other people on Facebook, and towards you, because that's where it all starts with. And focus more on, how can I personally validate myself first, so I know internally that I am good enough to do this, that I have the potential to do this, that I am capable of making predictable 5K, 10K, 15K, and 20K months. If you need support to get that in place and to have that feeling and to get things moving, go get it. If you can go out and reflect on your own and align yourself and break down that wall yourself, by all means, go do that too. But the most important thing that we can do for ourselves on our online journey is be honest with ourselves, be honest with our feelings, and be aware of where we're at within our business. So by be honest with ourselves and be honest with our feelings, what I mean by that is, if we're not putting out the offers that we know we need to put out to make the sales happen, we know black and white why we're not making these sales. We're not putting out the offers that we need. That's the big picture problem. But behind all of that is, why are we not putting out those offers? Is it because we're unclear on how to build our audience? Is it because we're unclear on how to put out content and we're worried about what people think about us? Is it because we don't know how to generate lead flow within our business, or we don't know how to ask that question in Messenger? Whatever it is, there's likely one element that's causing it and one fear or feeling behind it that's prohibiting your chances of ever breaking past that wall, because you're overanalyzing that element of the process itself. But when you can get to getting out of your own way, to getting clarity on the process, to knowing that when you show up every single day in your business, you're focused on the exact right things you need to do, and you know that every single day you're moving forward, now momentum builds, now confidence builds, now clarity comes with that, And things move super, super quickly. You've seen a prime example with Steven and many other clients that we've worked with. Andre, Justice. We had Matt recently that came in and landed a high ticket sale within his first week. You could sit up here and name a bunch of names that went through the same process, but many of these people all went into the program lacking clarity on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. When you have lack of clarity, when your skills aren't fully developed, fear sets in. When fear sets in, we automatically start to put up walls within our process. The downside is if you don't have any clear clue on what your process is and you're still feeling these walls and these fears, now it's like finding a needle in a haystack because you don't know where the block is. But I'm showing you right here that we can distill this down into a simple 4-phase system. And if we can work one phase at a time and breaking past the wall at each phase, we are unlocking the entire framework to start making consistent lead flow and consistent sales happen. Now, obviously, there's some elements behind this that can make it even more powerful, but the point is, this is the big picture. And there's walls at each point. And rather than first trying to, if you have a wall up at every point and you're still trying to figure out why you aren't making sales, rather than trying to break down all 3 walls and make more sales, start by breaking down one wall and getting this down. And then breaking down the second wall and getting this down. And then the third and then the fourth. And then you have a system in place where you're free, you're confident, you're clear, and you're able to show up, execute, trust the process. And you know, at the end of the day, you are in a position to win, and you will win by doing that itself. That's when you can get confident within the process. That's when you can generate 10K months, 15K months, and whatever monthly income goal you want to hit, because you're putting yourselves in position to make that happen and because you have the clarity to make that happen. So for those of you that resonate with this training today, if this brought some clarity to you today, let me know in the comments below. This is a simple training, but it's so important. And it's so overlooked. And we have to take this seriously if we want to get to our goals in our business. We have to be willing to honestly and authentically look into our business and be aware of where we're at. We have to be able to look into ourselves and be aware of what we're feeling. We have to be willing to ask questions. We have to be willing to get support. We have to be willing to take the action that we need to take. And through that, outcomes are virtually guaranteed. But the moment that we hide in the dark and let these walls get taller and taller and taller is a moment that things become way worse than what they actually are. And you feel so far away from your goal that you don't know if you can make it happen. And I wanted to pull up this one. I had a conversation. Somebody reached out to me just yesterday and brought up something that was pairing well with this. I think could be beneficial to hear and close out with this message. This person said to me, actually, to be honest, at some point of time, we all have to know that we are missing something because of the fact that we're not reaching our goal. But this person said they're getting that same feeling where they know something's missing in their process that's stopping them from hitting that goal. But they don't want to admit to that being the case. And this is exactly what we talked about. You may know that something's missing at the end of the day, whether it be on what we talked about here or something that you don't know yet. You know something's missing, but you don't want to admit it because you don't want to face it, and you would rather push it off by watching training videos, by not taking action, by not putting out offers, by not doing the things that you know you need to do to move the needle. That's all stemmed from lack of clarity and misalignment internally. The cool part is that can all be repaired. It just takes getting some support to make it happen and being aware internally of what's going on, being honest with yourself. The sad part is in this person's message, they said to me, no program takes the responsibility of making anybody as successful as they are themselves. So there's no point in investing. So they said they know that something's wrong within their process. They know they need help. They're afraid to ask for that help because at the end of the day, they know that nobody cares enough to help them actually get to where they want to go. But the reality is that's far from the truth. That's that person telling themselves a lie to make themselves avoid what they don't want to face. That may sound confusing, so I can say that again. They know they need to repair that missing element. They know they need to get support to get that in place. But an easy way to not get that support and to push yourself away from doing that is to just tell yourself, you know what, people don't care enough to support me, so why should I even go out and do anything? I'll just keep trying to figure it out on my own. And then we start getting a sour taste in our mouth, and the outcomes stay the same, the results stay the same, and we get more discouraged. This scenario can be applied in a variety of different ways. And what I said back to this person at the time is, if I were to sit here and tell you if you're going to hit 10K in 60 days, I would be doing you an injustice. Because as a coach, as a mentor, and as a leader itself, if I go out and tell you you're going to be guaranteed to hit these results and you come in, it's automatically going to lead to a misalignment because they think they can just come in to the program and they automatically have a system handed to them where they can just follow along with it, take a little bit of action, and then boom, things turn out the way they want. That's not the case. But on the flip side, I'm a firm believer in the fact that nobody cares about our clients more than the team that we have put together inside our coaching program. Our mindset coach, myself, our accountability coach, sales coach, our now content coach. 5 different coaches on team offering daily support, weekly coaching calls, and overall implementation support to make sure that this doesn't turn into 2 to 3 weeks to 4 weeks of this exact outcome, to make sure that we're breaking past these walls, moving to the next step, and then making this entire system flow seamlessly to where you can predictably generate leads, sales opportunities, close sales, and propel your business to new heights. And I actually showed them what our client tracking system looks like. And I didn't do this for the example of the person I'm talking about, and I can't do it here either for sake of privacy purposes. But essentially, with anybody that joins our coaching, whether it be me one-to-one, whether it be my group coaching program, whether it be my inner circle, myself and my team, I have organized a database for all of our clients within different phases. So the people in my inner circle are likely more at the advanced phase. The people joining my coaching program maybe more at the beginner or intermediate phase. The point is, we monitor what phase you're in at every stage that you're in the program itself. So when you first join, if you're in the beginner phase, if you're working to get things off the ground and get things moving, you're in phase 1, and every single week after that start date, myself and all of my coaches on team, I bring them together for a weekly huddle where we chat in a call every single week, and we go through each and every member of our programs. And we talk about, okay, this person was dealing with this block. They got content down, they're starting to put out some lead generation content, but they're struggling with conversations. How can we support them this week to get that in place? This person has awareness and lead generation down, but they're struggling with applying the script and presenting the offer. So how can we support them in making that their own? And this, to me, is why we've been able to achieve the results that we've been able to achieve with our clients itself. Obviously, it's all dependent on the action they take. So I'm not here to take any of the credit. The credit goes towards them and the action that they take itself. But at the end of the day, for someone like in this messenger conversation to say, people don't care enough to support me to help me get what I need in place to get things moving, what that is an excuse that your brain's telling you to avoid investing in yourself or to avoid taking that next step and facing the fear that you don't want to face. There's people out there, my program, I'm sure many other programs out there as well, that deeply care about your satisfaction, your results, your clarity, and your happiness as a whole. And we'll do whatever we can to make sure that that comes to life. Daily support, multiple coaching calls a week, weekly huddles to review where our clients are at and make sure they're getting the support they need. All that stuff goes a long way in really working hand in hand with that person itself. And I know many people out there, I've heard many other mentors, even levels above me, talk about, accountability is pointless. At the end of the day, if that person can't decide for themselves that they want something and go take the action they need to do it, then I don't want them in my program. Now, in a sense, I believe or I agree with part of that element. I agree that that person, each and every one of you watching, needs to make the decision for yourself that you're going to go all in with this and take the action that you need to take. If one of you invested in my coaching program today, I wouldn't want you to go into it if you didn't have full belief in myself and what I taught, and if you didn't come into it ready to take relentless action. Because I want to see you win. I want to see you grow your business. But that doesn't mean that 2 weeks into the program or 2 months into the program, you won't have a bad week and you won't face one of these walls. And if I were to sit back and be like that other mentor and say, you know what, accountability is pointless, support's pointless, make the choice for yourself, take the action, you'll break past it. That's not going to help them. It's not going to help that person break past and get to new levels of their business. What's going to help them is helping them clarify what's going on right now and staying on them and helping them remind them that, hey, we need to take actions this week to break past this wall, and here's the actions we're going to take. Where are you at with these? What actions have you taken this week? That's how you can encourage and push your clients to take new levels of action and really break past to new levels of growth. By not just being like that other person saying accountability is pointless, but knowing that obviously they have to make the decision to show up, but people also need support along the way. Everyone does. If we were alone in this online space, you would never get to where you want to go. If I didn't have support from other mentors early on in my journey and even to this day, I wouldn't be where I am today. But the big picture is I got the support when I needed it. I asked the questions when I needed to ask them. And I aligned and I worked with people that were actually willing to give me those answers and willing to give me that support. Now, I may be biased in the sense that I personally feel that no other coaching program out there, that I know of at least, offers the level of accountability and support that we offer. But I don't want that to be taken in a way that people think that anybody can just join into the program and magically things will change overnight even if they don't change themselves. You have to come into this program willing to learn, willing to face the unknown, and willing to be vulnerable enough to know that you don't have all the answers and it's time to allow someone that's been where you've been, done what you've done, look into where you're at and remind you of where things are falling off at. And get that support that you need to clarify your focus going forward. So for those of you that are dealing with that feeling right now, that are unsure on elements of their process and their business, that are feeling like they're not building the momentum they want or can't seem to figure out how to create the momentum that they want to create that predictable growth in their business, comment audit me below. We're opening up 5 sessions this week. Not just for a content audit, but for an overall high-lens business audit to look into where you're at with your business, where you want to go, what's holding you back from getting there, and actually digging into what it is itself that's causing a wall within your business, just like in the example we talked about today. And we're not here to sell you anything on the call. If you want to hear more about the coaching program and you want to learn more about how we can support you or any of our products, whether it be coaching or non-coaching, you can ask about it. But at the end of the day, we're here to go out and give 5 people this week the clarity that they need to propel their business to new levels, aside from this live that I put on today. So again, if you got value from this live, let me know in the comments. And let me know, to close out today's live itself, what's one thing that you've been pushing off that you know that if you tackle head on will move your business forward? Is it presenting offers in Messenger? Is it moving conversations to business? Is it putting out that first lead gen post? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments and hold yourself to that this week if you don't have an accountability structure in place, and make it happen. And let's start building some momentum right now, this week, right after this live today. And on that note, I'm going to close out today's live. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll circle back to these comments as I come back to them this afternoon. And we will chat soon. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you that hopped on. And I hope each and every one of you got some value from this video. Again, almost forgot to mention it before I log off here. Giveaway coming really soon. I'm going to be giving away my entire video recording setup. My 2 lights, my Logitech Brio 4K webcam. I'm not giving you my exact setup here. I'm not going to give you used equipment. I'm going to give you brand new equipment of the same exact setup that I have for one lucky winner that completes the entries in the contest and is randomly selected here next month. So stay tuned for that. A lot of cool stuff to come here soon. Again, comment audit me if you want to take advantage of one of those 5 spots to look into your business and align the focus, align the energy, and start to build and harness that momentum that you know you are able to create but feel like you can't create right now. We're here to help you make that happen, get things moving, and scale your business to new levels. So with that said, I will officially close out now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.